Adrian Cole was seated at an outdoor cafe table under the warm late-afternoon sunlight, going over merger papers on his tablet. As the head of Cole Enterprises, he was seldom completely free from work, even on weekends. "Pardon me, is this seat taken?" He glanced up to see a woman pointing toward the vacant chair opposite him. She carried herself with grace, dressed in a light blouse and beige skirt, her fair hair glowing in the sun. "It's free," Adrian replied, shifting his focus back to the device. The woman took the seat but made no move to call a waiter. Rather, she appeared to be mustering the nerve to speak. Adrian sensed her gaze fixed on him. "I apologize," she said at last. "This will probably sound ridiculous, but I have a question for you." Adrian placed the tablet aside. "Go ahead. My former fiancé is tying the knot in 3 weeks. I received an invitation. I probably shouldn't attend, yet I feel compelled to find some sense of resolution. The issue is arriving by myself would make me seem pitiful. All the guests will be curious why I'm still unattached while he's clearly progressed. You're asking me to accompany you to your ex's wedding as your +1. I realize how absurd it sounds, but you appear confident and accomplished, and I'm truly at my wit's end. I'll compensate you, $1,000 for a single afternoon. All you need is to attend, seem caring enough, and support me in maintaining my composure." Adrian knew he ought to decline. He could list plenty of logical objections. He had no acquaintance with her. His schedule was packed with more pressing matters. The whole proposal felt bizarre, to say the least. Yet a certain quality in her face held him back. A mix of fragility hidden beneath determination. Dignity battling inner pain. That expression felt familiar to him. "What's your name?" he inquired. "Elena. Elena Sinclair." "Adrian Cole. I won't accept your payment, Elena, but I'll agree on one stipulation." "What stipulation?" "Explain the true motive behind attending this ceremony. Because closure is just psychological jargon. What's driving you underneath?" Elena's calm faltered just a bit. "I want him to witness that I'm fine, that his departure failed to shatter me, though truthfully, it hurt some. I want to enter with a companion who shows I've advanced, that I'm flourishing." "Does that make me pitiful?" "It makes you normal. Everyone craves appearing strong, particularly to those who've wounded us." "So you'll really come?" "Absolutely. Send the particulars and I'll show up." Elena appeared astonished. "That easily? No further questions about me. I figure you'll share whatever's necessary beforehand. But yes, that easily." The wildest appeals often spring from the deepest sincerity. They swapped contact information. Elena assured him she'd forward the wedding specifics, key attendees, and the backstory they'd present about their supposed meeting. Once she departed, Adrian's assistant phoned. "Where are you located? The Meridian pitch needs final touches." "I know. I'll arrive in 20. You seem preoccupied. Everything okay?" "All good. I simply committed to posing as a stranger's escort at her former partner's nuptials." "Excuse me? I'll fill you in eventually, perhaps. Forward the Meridian materials." In the weeks that followed, Elena and Adrian convened 3 occasions to refine their fabricated narrative. Casual coffee meetups, a midday meal, and one evening dinner spent crafting the pretend romance. "We crossed paths at a fundraising event," Elena proposed, "around half a year back. You attended for networking purposes, while I was there championing fine arts programs for youth. Our conversation began over the auction pieces and stretched through the entire night." "Sounds believable. What's my profession in our tale? What's your actual line of work?" "I oversee a technology firm, Cole Enterprises, specializing in medical software platforms." Elena's gaze grew wide. "You're the Adrian Cole? The one featured on Businessweek's cover recently." "That's me. And yet you accepted my invitation to pose at a wedding. Why?" "You were in need, and I had the availability. Simple as that. It feels complicated to me. I earn about $40,000 annually teaching art at a secondary school. You're a prominent tech executive. Our lives are worlds apart. And, at the event, We're simply two individuals who appreciate one another's presence. Money doesn't alter that fact. But it does. The crowd will immediately conclude you're far beyond my reach. They'll suspect ulterior motives unrelated to real affection. Then let's disprove their assumptions. Let's demonstrate two people who sincerely relish each other's conversation, share sparks, and selected one another. Except we haven't selected one another. This remains pretend. Does it? We've invested considerable time together these past 14 days. I truly value your presence. You're intelligent, witty, deeply committed to your profession. That authenticity exists, despite the invented status. Elena examined him closely. What's your genuine reason for agreeing? The honest answer. Adrian set aside his drink. Half a decade ago, my former spouse departed for another man. She remarried within 6 months and extended an invitation to me. I skipped it, and the regret lingers to this day. Not from lingering attachment, but from allowing her to perceive my lingering vulnerability. That I chose avoidance. I refuse to let you carry similar remorse. I'm truly sorry. That must have been devastating. It was, yet it imparted a lesson. Evading difficult moments doesn't diminish their sting. Occasionally you must step directly into the flames to emerge beyond them. The ceremony took place at a winery roughly 60 minutes from town. Adrian collected Elena in his vehicle, intentionally selecting an unassuming model rather than his typical upscale ride. She appeared lovely in a deep blue gown, refined yet understated. You seem anxious, Adrian noted during the drive. I am. I haven't faced Marcus in 12 months. Our final exchange involved me pleading for reconsideration. Not my proudest instant. What occurred between you both? 4 years as a couple, one as engaged. Then he encountered another woman during a professional gathering. 6 months afterward, he chose her for marriage. I spent a full year questioning my shortcomings, pondering alternative choices. And presently? Now I understand it had nothing to do with my flaws. He desired qualities I couldn't provide. Greater drive, stronger networks, higher status. Jenna, his fiancée, practices corporate law and comes from affluence. I'm an educator who devotes weekends to guiding teens with their art submissions. Long-term compatibility was never realistic. Then why does his opinion still matter? Unsure. Perhaps ego, or a lingering fragment hoping he recognizes his mistake. Upon reaching the winery, they were ushered to chairs for the alfresco service. Elena stiffened upon spotting familiar faces. That's Marcus's mother, she murmured, indicating a stern woman adorned in pearls. She always deemed me unworthy. Her misfortune for never truly discovering who you are. The service unfolded attractively in the typical lavish style of high-end ceremonies. Marcus looked dashing and radiant. Jenna appeared breathtaking in couture ivory. The entire affair felt meticulously staged and flawless. Adrian observed Elena throughout the promises. She maintained remarkable poise, though he noticed her fingers tighten faintly at Marcus's I do. During the reception, they circulated among guests. Adrian fulfilled his part flawlessly. Devoted yet restrained, impressive yet modest, visibly enchanted with Elena through subtle, credible gestures. So how did you two connect? Inquired one of Elena's old acquaintances, politeness thinly veiling intrigue. Elena recited their practiced account. Adrian contributed specifics that lent authenticity. The shade of her attire that evening, her amusement at his awful pun regarding contemporary sculpture. The instant he realized he craved more time with her. How charming, the acquaintance remarked, her face hinting at skepticism. Later, during the meal, Marcus approached arm-in-arm with Jenna. Elena, wonderful that you came. Best wishes, Marcus. Jenna, you're stunning. Thank you. And this is? Adrian. Adrian, meet Marcus and Jenna. Adrian offered handshakes with perfect courteous restraint. What field are you in, Adrian? Marcus probed, a faint edge beneath the civility. Technology, software solutions. Though I'd much prefer hearing your travel itinerary. Elena mentioned Greece for the honeymoon. They conversed amiably a short while before the newlyweds continued onward. When they departed, Elena released a breath. "Thank you. That was handled impeccably. I meant what I said. My curiosity lies more with vacation details than self-promotion. No performance there." With night approaching, music for dancing began. Adrian offered his palm. "Dance? You aren't obligated. Our purpose is served. We've been noticed together. This isn't obligation. I'm inviting you because I want to hold you on the floor." Amid the dancers, Elena eased against him. "May I share something?" she whispered. "Naturally." This stings far less than anticipated, witnessing his union with another. I feared total devastation. Yet I'm fine. Better than fine. Content even. Why? Observing them, a truth struck me. My feelings for Marcus never matched Jenna's evident devotion. I cherished the notion of him, the comfort of partnership, not his true self. And he never truly cherished mine. We accepted mediocrity together. That's an important insight. Indeed, and you deserve credit. Alone, I'd have dwelled solely on pain. Your presence lent clarity, letting me view events objectively, rather than through injured pride. Happy to assist. As the melody concluded, Elena's fingers remained entwined. "Adrian, one question?" "Always. Once today concludes, once our agreement dissolves, might you wish to see me again?" Authentically, no pretense. Adrian grinned. "I wondered when you'd raise it. I've pondered how to propose without awkwardness." "Truly? You're genuinely drawn to me?" "Why the astonishment?" "Because of who you are, accomplished, worldly, elite. Your options are endless. I've found someone I wish to pursue. A dedicated art instructor who cares fiercely for her pupils, who confronts difficulty bravely, who brings effortless joy. That's precisely my preference." They lingered through the receptions close, yet the act had evolved into sincerity. The gestures felt natural, the laughter spontaneous, the bond true. Driving Elena home, she faced him. "A confession." "Yes. I'd observed you at the café on prior occasions. 3 separate visits. You always seemed so intent, so composed. When I resolved to seek a companion, I returned specifically hoping you'd appear. Not entirely unplanned. I have one as well." "Which is?" "I noticed you during your earliest visit. You were marking assignments, smiling at a student's comment. I wondered what prompted such warmth. So when you spoke to me, interest already existed." Elena chuckled. "We're hopeless at this. At expressing desires openly. You might have invited me out long before. I might have sought more than a staged arrangement. We arrived regardless. That counts." Half a year onward, Adrian occupied a seat at Elena's high school exhibition, observing her guide students through their creations. She glided among them with pure delight, commending every effort, bolstering shy adolescence, ensuring each felt valued. "You're gazing intently," Elena teased upon approaching. "I'm appreciating. There's distinction. Feeling restless? This isn't your usual boardroom setting." "Elena, I've finest choices." Elena's plea stemmed from a vulnerable wish to preserve dignity. Adrian's acceptance arose from empathy toward another's struggle. Yet everything afterward transcended pretense or urgency. It became two souls learning that assumed parts can evolve into lived reality, that bonds rooted in sincere kindness endure longer than those founded on ideal conditions, and that the bravery to request assistance, paired with the willingness to provide it, can reshape both parties beyond anticipation. The end. If this tale reminded you that the oddest origins can yield the loveliest conclusions, please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing. Endured countless industry summits. They merge into sameness. Witnessing your passion, the difference you create for these young artists. This holds far greater appeal than yet another tech keynote. "I love you," Elena declared abruptly. "I love you as well. That's hardly revelation. True, yet I wish to voice it here, in my realm, not yours, to confirm you understand I cherish Adrian the person, not the executive title, simply the individual who accepted a peculiar favor and became genuine. I've been authentic since our first cafe encounter. I know. That's precisely why. 1 year hence, they returned to the identical winery from Marcus's celebration. This occasion featured Elena in ivory. Adrian stood ready at the front, watching her approach. "We owe Marcus gratitude," he murmured upon her arrival. For releasing you wisely yet inviting you foolishly. Had he not, I might never have played temporary escort, or become my lifelong partner." In his promises, Adrian spoke of bravery in seeking aid from unknowns, of Elena's resilience confronting anguish rather than fleeing, of how extraordinary bonds sometimes originate from improbable proposals. In hers, Elena described love's surprising origins, of the gentleman who embraced an odd appeal out of compassion, of discovering that true partnership not only endures trials but reshapes them into beauty. Marcus and Jenna received no invitation, not from malice but because their story occupied a closed volume. One required completion for this fresh narrative to unfold. In years to follow, when queried about their meeting, Elena shared openly. "I requested he pose as my escort to my ex's ceremony. He consented, and remained through our own." For Adrian, the takeaway concerned life's surprising redemption opportunities. "I attended believing I offered kindness," he'd reflect. "I departed understanding she bestowed greater kindness upon me. She showed that embracing unusual chances occasionally yields lives."
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you never miss a twist. Stay tuned to Reddit Tales Times for your daily dose of drama, laughs, and unbelievable stories.